Thanks for joining the webinar today related to SiteDocs and how safety is not optional. So let's go ahead and jump into it. My name is Tom Coons, and I'm the director here at IMAGINiT Technologies. Alongside of me, I have Ryan Harvey from SiteDocs, and we'll be providing you an overview of the SiteDocs platform. This webinar is being recorded, as Sean stated, for those who could not be in attendance today. So feel free to list your questions via chat as we proceed. Ryan and I will then do the best we can in answering your questions, and we hope that this webinar is informative and can accelerate your business growth and keep it safe. So speaking of questions, let's look at the agenda. I'll be providing an overview of why IMAGINiT Technology is making a large investment in SiteDocs and other data collection tools. Then I'll pass it to Ryan to provide an overview of the use cases and the platform where SiteDocs excels at it. So let's jump into it. Our customers continue to struggle solving the data utilization gap and putting their data to work. Over 68% of the data collected in a company goes underutilized. Based on what we at IMAGINiT have heard with all of our customers across AEC, construction, utilities, and manufacturing, the data utilization gap continues to be a huge challenge. Companies have several internal and external systems and workflows that must be integrated to drive business results. Our customers are looking to improve data acquisition for field resources, making it easier for them to complete their job and do it in a safe manner, and quite frankly, improve the processes to lower cost and increase revenue. Elimination of the manual processes will help the data utilization gap. And then there's AI, of course. We hear about AI all the time now, but the critical component to solve the future AI challenge is all around getting the data correct at the time of the event or incident for the machine learning or artificial intelligence engine to make sense of the data. In 2025, IMAGINiT is making a large investment in data capture and collection tools per our customers' request. We have over 20,000 customers in the industries I've mentioned earlier. We're meeting with our customers all the time. A request that continues to come up is the need for a better solution around data collection in the field and reporting that back into the office. You may have already heard about IMAGINiT Forms Connected powered by GoCanvas. IMAGINiT Forms Connect is a mobile-first, multi-department data collection platform that digitizes all the paper in the field in the office. The paper in the field can range from inspections to time tracking, anything in between. In addition to capturing the content, the platform has thousands of integration endpoints to tie it into the back-end systems to close the data utilization gap. The other data collection offering is SiteDocs. And now this is a purpose-built safety platform for EH&S with incident reporting, inspections, near-miss tracking, training verification, corrective actions, audit readiness, to name a few. This is a turnkey solution. So in summary, IMAGINiT Forms Connected, use that when you don't need to digitize more than, you need to digitize more than safety. And different teams need custom automated integrated workflows. And data must be fed into like an ERP or a CRM or PLM or project systems for construction. Or you need full control over validation, logic, routing, and integrations. But you'll use SiteDocs when safety is your primary objective around compliance, incident tracking, inspections, to name a few. And you need a proven EHS platform with dashboards and corrective action, where you want instant field adoption with minimal training. So let's dive into SiteDocs. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, over 2.6 million non-fatal workplace injuries occur. And over 33% never get reported. The US annual cost of serious disabling workplace injuries is order of magnitude. And the Workplace Safety Index estimated the most disabling injuries alone cost employers $58.6 billion per year. And if you add the indirect costs like the medical care, lost wages, lost productivity, on a given year, a business may be over $167 billion. And some sources estimate that the average medical consultant injuries might carry direct costs between $42,000 to $45,000 per instance. And then you add the indirect cost, it could be estimated as high as $135,000 per injury. So clearly safety can be very expensive to your company, which is why our customers have been requesting a product like SiteDocs to be added to the IMAGINiT portfolio. So therefore, without further delay, I would like to pass the audience to Ryan so he can go into more detail on the SiteDocs platform. Ryan, all yours. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Tom. Yeah, so I want to talk to you guys today about SiteDocs and how this software actually helps to solve the pain points that Tom was mentioning earlier. To make it super simple, SiteDocs is a digital safety management platform, and our customers choose us to manage their workforce safety documentation, their compliance, all of their auditing pain points digitally. So SiteDocs has a few different moving pieces. So to start with, I'll walk through what your workers are going to see on site. So managing on site, you're looking at digital forms, hazard management, corrective actions, certifications, resources, and equipment management just to get started. And this is just what's managed from our mobile application. So to start with, workers are going to see a to-do list every day. So from the home page of their application, they're seeing what they have overdue, what they have due today, and then what they have upcoming in the future. So you can schedule things, and your workers all know exactly what they have to do to get their day started. We also have an easy path to compliance for your contractors. So as you likely know, your risk with contractors is often far greater than with employees from your own company. So with SiteDocs, your contractors now have an easy path to compliance. They can scan a QR code and use our web app so that they don't have to download a SiteDocs application. They don't have to remember a password. They can sign in and fill out their documentation and get going on their day. And I'll go into that a little deeper later on. So I'll walk you through what filling out a form looks like, and we'll use an equipment inspection so you can sort of see a little bit of the equipment management piece of this as well. So from the mobile application, you can organize your forms into folders and subfolders to make it easier for your workers to find exactly what they're looking for. Once they open the form that they're supposed to sign, all of your company information is added to the top automatically. So your company name, the location, and the date and time are auto-populated every time, and they don't have to fill that out. And then they can go through and fill out the items on your form. So for instance, the first one here is a select equipment item. So it gives them the option for equipment assigned to them, equipment by type, or equipment assigned to this location, so they can find the equipment easily. And then it gives them a list of types. They can pick the one they want and then find the equipment that they're going to be inspecting today. There's a pretty wide variety of items in our form builder, and so you can fill out those items as you go. So the big one here being a number only item for hours, and then moving through your pass fails. It's a simple, easy way to get through your checklists easily without having to worry about formatting or anything like that. You've got a quick pass fail. And anything where you need an image, you can take a picture with your phone or upload from your phone's photo gallery. So here we can see there's an issue with a brake light. So there's a photo that was taken. You can draw on top of it to show the issues. You can also add text, date, and location stamps that are automatically pulled from your image's data. And then if this is an issue that you need somebody else to pay attention to, like a mechanic or somebody who needs to then action on this issue, you can use our flag and follow-up forms for a corrective action. So you can send a repair request to your mechanic, give them a due date when you need it done, give them the specifics of what needs to finish, and now you have a secondary form that your mechanic can fill out to document what they've done to right this issue. And the two are sort of connected together. So think about, like with paper, you'd be stapling the two together, right? So we digitally staple these two things together. They are separate forms, but they are connected with the flag icon that you can see sort of in the background there, the bright yellow flag icon. Once you're finished the form, you select your name, or you can select other workers from your company if your permissions are available, so that multiple people can sign the document if they want to. You draw your signature with your finger or a stylus, super simple, and then click Save and Close. And when that's done, it gives you not only your signature and your name, but also your title, your company name, date and time of your signature, and a GPS stamp. So that GPS stamp, you can see there's a View Map button there in the corner. If you click on that, you're going to get the map of exactly where you were standing when you signed that form. So no more worrying about workers filling things out off-site or from their couch, from the coffee shop around the corner. You know exactly where they are when they're filling out those documents. And then there's also a request signature or approval button. So if you need an approval or a signature from somebody who's not standing right next to you, you can send that through to their mobile device. So you pick their name from the list, you can give them a due date and a due time, and then they're going to get a notification on their phone or their tablet letting them know that they have an approval request or a signature request from you. And that's going to show up on their to-do list as well. So next is our resource management. So safety is not just fillable forms, right? It's not just hazard assessments and inspections and incident reports. It's also documentation around standard operating procedures and safety documentation, that kind of thing. So we have a solution for that as well. Your resource menu looks a lot like the form menu. So you've got folders and subfolders for all your documentation. And this is where you can store those PDFs, where it's information that your workers need. Often they need it right now so that they can see the operating procedures they're supposed to be going through. So it's really simple to create these folders, but there's also a search bar at the top so you can find what you're looking for, especially in those lists of SOPs. You're going to have a ton of these in your library. So we have a search bar so they can find it easily. They can open the PDF, it's right there at their fingertips, and go through the entire thing without having to walk across site to find a binder or a clipboard in somebody's truck. It's all available at the touch of a button. And of course, they can sign these as well. So this is probably where the save and add another comes in more often, is things like a toolbox talk, where a supervisor walks through something like establishing a control zone, and then you can have multiple people sign that document. So you can pass around the tablet if you want to, or if it's easier, people can also find this signed resource and sign it on their own device. So you don't have to worry about passing things around if that's a concern. The additional part with field workers is certifications. We want to make sure that everybody on your site is certified to work there and do what you've hired them to do. So we have certification management in SiteDocs. You can go to your worker tab, find the worker you need, select their certifications menu, and then you can see all of the information on their certification right here. So it's the name, who gave it to them, a ticket number, acquired and expiry date, and you can also add things like images and PDF files. If there's a picture of a card or a PDF of a certificate, you can attach that as well. So from the office, there's even more available. SiteDocs gives you the tools to monitor and manage your compliance from your office for tasks that you know are coming up, tasks that occur on a daily or weekly basis. There's no longer a need for mental checklists or paper of things that you have to do. It gives you the peace of mind of what you need done, and it's already been assigned. Right? This combines really well with real-time monitoring and shows you what has and hasn't been completed on site. So I'll go into this a little bit, what the real-time monitor looks like. The monitor is our main page of SiteDocs. It's where we find our administrators are spending about 85% of their time once they've logged into SiteDocs. This is, like I mentioned, a real-time monitor. All of your forms are stored here, but it's not just your forms, it's your resources, it's your certifications, and it's even the attachments with your equipment files as well, which I'll go into in a bit. Everything is stored here, and you can categorize it, filter it however you need to. And this monitor is also available on site through our web application. So if you have supervisors who need access to this kind of reporting, you can push it to them as well. It's not just limited to your computer. So you can also, like I mentioned, monitor your certifications. So this is what a certification view looks like. You can see what we have expired, what we have expiring soon, what's active, what's archived. Everything's here with your visibility. You don't have to click around from page to page. You just have different views saved for your different documents. So imagine a scenario where you know that you have preventive maintenance coming up on one of your vehicles, right? You can schedule that form from your monitor. So you can see there's a blue button in the top right. It's a little faded, but in the top right, you've got a schedule a form button, which will bring up this menu. So you can fill in your due date, your due time, what form you want filled out, where you want it filled out, who you want to fill it out. But you can also pre-fill the information. So if ahead of time you already know which piece of equipment you're going to be working with, you already know the serial number, maybe you even already know some issues ahead of time, you can fill those in for your worker so that they don't have to do it from the site. It just creates less items they have to do, right? So if you already know the information, you can pre-fill it for them ahead of time and then send that scheduled form out. So you have the ability to pick a date and time, but you also have repetition. So if something like this comes up weekly, monthly, yearly, daily, whatever the option is, you have a bunch of different options here. And there's even a custom scheduling option. So you can pick different cadences if you need to. Once those forms are in your monitor, you have the option to change your monitor to view it however you like. So we have options for different layouts, different groupings, how you want to see your content and what kind of scheduled items you want. There's a lot of customizability here. I'm not going to go through every single item, but there's a lot that you can do here. One of my favorites is the inbox view. So rather than just a list of documents, it looks a little closer to an email inbox. So you've got your forms down the left and then a preview of the form on the right. Now you can still see your forms without the inbox view. It just creates a pop-out window. But I really like the availability of the inbox view. There's a bunch of different options here. And the really helpful thing from the monitor is that you can sign documents from here. So if you see a document come in as an administrator and you need to add your signature as an approval or just like a note that you've seen it, you can add a signature straight from the monitor without having to pull out your iPad or open the web app. You can do it straight from here. You can draw it with your mouse, or if drawing with a mouse is difficult, like it is for me, as you can see here, there's a text option as well that just inserts a cursive signature. There's also the option for SiteDocs chat. Now this is across all of our platforms, the administrator panel, the web application, and the mobile app. You can send chats to your team. So this is basically cuts out the need to have something like WhatsApp or Slack or anything like that. It's already built into your SiteDocs platform. It keeps everything in one place. If your workers are looking for communication, it's going to be in SiteDocs, which is super helpful. You can have direct chats up to 8 people, channels for different topics, and you can even create chat rooms for the different locations on your sites. So if people are working on a site, they get an automatic chat section where they can talk to the other people working with them without having to remember who's on site and connect them with different group messages. And certification sharing, we know, is a big thing when you're working with other companies, right? If it's just you on site, that's one thing, but when you're working with other companies, you want to make sure that they can see what kind of certifications you have, but you don't necessarily want to give them access to your SiteDocs account. There's a lot of information stored in a safety program, right? So we have the option for a certification on site link. So it's a randomized link that you can send to anybody. They don't need SiteDocs access, and they can see every certification for the workers that are assigned to your location. So they can click on these certs and view the images if they want to, but they can see who is certified to do different things on site without you having to worry about them having access to anything else. And this link can always be randomized again. So if you give it to somebody and then you want to revoke their access, you just recreate the link and they'll lose access to what you gave them. And we also have, speaking of sharing, auto share. So when you're working with other companies, often they want copies of the paperwork that you're filling out on their sites, right? So you have a few different options when it comes to sharing. You can download each form individually. So if you just need to send 1 or 2, it's a great option. But you also have the option for auto share by email. So if somebody wants every single form of a certain type, you can choose to email it to them automatically, and they'll get a PDF copy attached to an email sent out to them whenever one is signed. If you're working with another company that has a SiteDocs account, you can connect your two accounts and tell SiteDocs which location matches their location, and then it'll auto share the forms between the two. And you also have the option to automatically upload PDFs into your SiteDocs account via email. So you can create random email addresses that other companies can send PDFs to, and they'll automatically be uploaded into your SiteDocs account as a form, and they'll show up on your monitor. So the admin side of equipment management is super helpful. So on the administrator side of things, other than the item that I showed you earlier with the form, you have full equipment profiles for every piece of equipment that you build into your SiteDocs account. So you can see here I've got a big list of apparently this company is really big on Volvo, and they've got a lot of Volvo equipment working here, but a long list of equipment that's all in your account. And then there are big profiles behind that. So it's not just equipment name and equipment type like you saw earlier. You can have statuses, descriptions, information about the serial numbers, their usage, the information. There's options for insurance and all kinds of things. There's even 15 custom fields in here that you can create if we didn't create one that you need. And then you have the option to assign these pieces of equipment to workers and locations. And you can attach PDFs to these specific equipment profiles. So things like insurance, how-to manuals, any sort of documentation you need around your vehicles can all be uploaded into SiteDocs. It's great to have it available in the piece of equipment if you need it, but then if you're working from the administrator side and the piece of equipment's on site, you don't have access to that documentation, right? So with SiteDocs, you can have it digital and have it available to anybody in your SiteDocs account. Workforce management has been a game changer for a lot of our customers. Like I mentioned earlier, contractors are a huge part of working in our space, right? And we have people coming on and off sites all the time who don't necessarily work for you, and you may not have even met them before today. So you want to make sure that everybody on your site is safe. It doesn't just come down to liability or the money that Tom was mentioning earlier. Those are huge numbers. It's huge liability for your company. But on top of that, you just don't want people getting hurt on your site, right? And so workforce management gives you the ability to make sure that everyone on your site is on the same page safety-wise. So you can print out a QR code and post it on site, or you can send a link to your subcontractors ahead of time. And these links or QR codes give them the ability to log into your SiteDocs account. In fact, if you have your phone on you right now and you scan that QR code on the left, it should take you into one of our sales demo accounts where you can poke around the SiteDocs Lite app yourself if you want. All you have to do is verify your email address with a code to make sure that you're a human being and not a robot trying to log in and sign safety forms. And then you are in and you can fill out forms. So this is what the process looks like. You verify your email address, you into your home page, you can select forms, resources, or certifications. You fill out your form, you sign it, and it's done. It's super simple, super easy. We wanted to make sure that there was a very low barrier to safety here, especially with contractors that don't work for you every day. You don't need people to go through a whole training course just to use the software that they need to be safe. We want to make sure that they have the documentation that they need, and then they can get to work. On the administrator side, as people are signing in and creating profiles, you'll see their company profiles in your account. So each company will have their own profile, just like with equipment and with your own workers, and it looks much like the equipment side of things. So there's a full profile here with the ability to add company information like legal names and addresses, contact information, pre-qual information, whatever you need. And then also the attachment side of things for insurance information, any audit information you have, maybe even contracts that you've drawn up with these companies. You can put all of that in the PDF section. It's all stored in SiteDocs. Once you've created those companies and they're able to sign in, the way that you decide what they see is with custom menus and custom SiteDocs Lite links. So for every location that you work in, you can customize what your contractors are going to see. And this means that you can choose for forms and for resources exactly how it's organized, and this is separate from what your workers are going to see. So your workers that work for you every day are going to see the menu that you set up earlier, and then with SiteDocs Lite, you can constrain to exactly what your contractors need to see, right? Just the forms that they need to fill out, and you make that easy for them, and then you can share the access through a QR code, a poster, or an access code link. And then once they've signed those documents, just like with the rest of your workers, it's going to show up on your monitor. So you can see along the right-hand side here, there's a bunch of different company names. So these are all of the contractors. So you can not only see the documentation that's coming in from these people, but you can also see what company it came from. So if you have an issue, if you have something that's missing, you can see which company you need to be in touch with to track down that information. Finally, we partner with you to make your implementation easy. So on day one, you will have access to a SiteDocs account. It's super important to us. Within 24 business hours, you will have access to your SiteDocs account. And like Tom mentioned earlier, this is a turnkey solution. Every SiteDocs account comes preloaded with common safety forms from your area. So they're definitely not meant to replace your safety documentation, but it's somewhere to get started. We give you some templates so you can start using SiteDocs right away. And then you'll be in touch with one of our implementation specialists. They'll help you create your plan to get set up, and then they're going to optimize your account so you can build it, you can refine it, and you can expand it. And then once your implementation is over, we have an award-winning support team that will always be there to answer your questions. You're never alone when you're with SiteDocs. There will always be someone here to answer your questions. The last slide I have here, I'm not going to get too detailed into this because this opens a whole can of worms if we get into the details. But we do have a couple of technical products that are available beyond our base product. So we have analytics, which is a fully customizable high-level analytics software that feeds all of your information from your forms into analytics, and you can create custom reports from the questions that your workers are answering every day. So this goes beyond just which forms came in and which ones are missing and who signed them, and goes into like the actual answers to the questions that your workers are seeing every day. And this is the one place where SiteDocs has put AI into our platform. Now, Tom was mentioning AI is being mentioned everywhere. SiteDocs has made it really important to us that we give you usable AI, that we're not just slapping a sticker on our product to say, yes, we have AI. SiteDocs Analytics is the old version of artificial intelligence that we were used to hearing about. It's a computer doing math for you. We're not involving any LLMs or anything like that at this point. Analytics will look at your trends on site and tell you where things are heading. So if you're seeing incidents at certain times on certain dates, certain days of the week, it's going to tell you what that trend looks like so you can get ahead of any issues that you might be seeing. A great example of this is we had a customer who built a dashboard like that, and they noticed that they had more incidents on Wednesdays around noon, and they realized that they had a safety meeting on Wednesdays, and so the safety guys weren't on site and more incidents happened. So they made a change and got their incident numbers down significantly. The other technical product here is Workflow Studio. This is our automation and integration engine that's available as well. So Workflow Studio gives you the ability to automate your tasks in your account just with SiteDocs if you want. So things like creating, like when an incident report is signed, create a folder, put the incident report in it, schedule an incident follow-up, add a status to the folder, and then maybe send that email off, send the email of the PDF off to somebody on site. But it also includes attaching to other software. There's over 1,500 other softwares that are available. These are things like the Google Suite, the Microsoft Suite, and more. And then with API, it gets even more. But I won't open the can of worms too much. I could talk about Workflow Studio for hours, but these are the two really powerful technical products that are available if you really want to take your safety to the next level.